get it fixed. But yeah. So are you? What's up, Jimmy? Um, would I recommend this board for gospel worship live settings? Oh man, one of the things that I talked about in the test stream the other night was I think an ideal situation for this keyboard, one ideal situation, because I play gospel music, play in church all the time. And one of the things that I thought would be good for this keyboard, especially for in a situation where you have somebody playing organ, because of course you have the two manuals of organ sounds that you can use, and having that set up however you'd like. But not only that, but being, hold on, live, talking about the Mod Wave MK2. One second, trying again to get this live stream. All right, so one of the things that I talked about is, okay, CCM, definitely CCM. Okay, one of the things that I talked about was if you put this instrument on top of an organ, especially if you're in a setting where you're playing by yourself, and use it for lead sounds or soloing, as opposed to the top register, you know, the percussion sound and stuff like that when you're playing organ. So you'd have the bass that you're able to carry with your foot. So that's your bottom. That's also something that I talked about as far as like having some lower end when you're playing this keyboard. But having the bass, running the bass on your bottom, having your comp chords in your left hand, and then being able to solo with nice lead sounds. I think something like this would be great for that. That's one instance of something that I think it would be great for. So on the flip side of that would be if you're playing main keys and you need a filler sound as far as padding is concerned, ambient sounds that are moving in the background, it would be great in those type of situations too. So that would take some of the stress off of whatever keyboard it is you're using for main keys. And then because having something like this, what I showed the other day, there's a lot of movement in the sounds, and we're going to go over some of those sounds so you guys can just kind of hear what I'm saying. But there's a lot of movement, and the way they have these layers set up, being able to adjust the layers independently, you can have one sound that's moving, doing one thing as far as the filter is concerned. You can have another sound that's doing something as far as the LFO is concerned, and it just makes for a very textured type of sound. So yeah, if you got a keyboard that you like the way it feels as far as main keys and stuff, and you want to MIDI it up to this keyboard and use this for your pads, strings type of sounds. Now it's not acoustic type of sounds; it's more synthetic type of textures and tones, but it could still be useful in those type of situations. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Like I said, for gospel worship, yes. CCM, yes. CCM music, you know, they love to just get on let me find one of the sounds. Get on something and just sit there for a second, let it just kind of hang out. Look at this beauty pad. I think that's one. All right, so that's one. I mean, you could have, I mean, that behind, I don't have anything MIDI to it right now. Maybe I'll have that set up for another live stream. But you could imagine, you know, a nice big warm piano underneath that. I'm sure that would be very enjoyable. That's one that was a big one that people liked. Let's see. This is one of my favorites. It's called Ambient Starlight. Let's see. What can I play? Just gonna keep in the same vein. See all that going on? So yeah, I mean, they're all in here, and these are all presets. I've only had the board for about 2 weeks now, so I'm just kind of getting to grips with some of it, and this is different for me. Like I was, you know, also mentioning in one of the other live streams, it is I'm more used to workstations, but having access with this, like knobs and stuff like this, like right in front of your face. You know, keyboards are starting to have wider ranges as far as the control surfaces and stuff are concerned. But from my experience, it's just, yeah, it's been fewer and far between. I think the Chronos may have like the most accessible outside of the Red board. They've got a lot of knobs and stuff right in front of their face too, as far as programming. But like if you like to tweak and want to get into sound design, this thing definitely has some. All right, so here's another sound that I was playing yesterday that I thought was pretty crazy. Bad videotape, yeah. Let's see. Prince. That's funny. Yeah, hilarious. That's funny that you should mention him. See, like underneath, there's a layer in this with a like this sound here, and the LFO is really cool, and how it's moving to kind of give you that little wiggle sound. Let's see. And see, like that's something of the cool stuff about the sounds here. Like just being able to, there's 60 voices of polyphony if I remember correctly, but just being able to turn layers on and off. So like now, both of these lights are off, so that's indicating that layers A and B, there's no sound coming from them. So if I just want to hear the sound on layer A, I'm gonna double click the layer A button, and that's the sound there. And then layer B has this. But then you put them together and it's just, now see sometimes that so okay, with the layers and the sounds, you got oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and so some of this stuff I'm repeating if you've been to any of the other live streams, but you've got oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and you've got a sub noise generator for both layer A and B. Okay, so that's crazy, all of that we're hearing. That entire tone is coming from you guys. So that's I mean, it's new to me. Well, not new, completely new, but it's something you definitely don't hear this kind of stuff all the time. But layer A, this bell sound that you're hearing, that's all coming from the sub noise generator within layer A. That's a triangle wave that they have mangled. So we now add the what's on oscillator 1 and 2 of layer A back in. Turn layer A off just to hear what layer B is doing again. That's the sound that you hear at the end of a quarter of a basketball game. White noise. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here across these sounds. Let's get back. Let's see. I think yesterday we ended on bobbles. We've done brass tacks today, broken strings. That's crazy. That is like scary, super scary. So this is layer A. No idea how far this is gonna go. My fingers are off and I'm off the sustain pedal. There's actually part of the sound is called endless plucks. Endless plucks. So I bet this goes on forever and ever. Oh, we found the ending. Pretty spooky though, if you ask me. And then the second part of the sound is called sloppy bass. So I turned that delay off. Yeah, they are pretty warm. That's crazy. Yo, that sound is crazy. That's scaring me. Let's get off of that. Busted Aliens next. Okay, one of the things that I did talk about yesterday is how specialized some of the sounds are. So, like, that's something that you have to kind of consider. There are a lot of presets in here that you probably will not be able to use. Just in a standard, I'm just gonna sit down and play. There's a lot of presets in here that like I couldn't find. Could you find a use for, could anybody in the live stream, could you find a use for this sound? Not off the top of my head, I couldn't. I'd have to be in a really creative state to find something for that. But there are parts of it that bass you could. So I mean, I said that to say that there are some. You will have to do some tweaking to get the sounds to fit what you want if you're not going to just program from scratch. If you're not a tweaker, if you're somebody that likes to just sit down and find some presets, you're not going to be limited because there are a ton of presets in the board, like a ton. Just alphabetically, these are the A's, these are the B's, these are the C's, these are the D's. It's an ABC order. These are the E's, F's, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N's, O, P's, there's one Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, Y, and that's it. So there's a lot of presets in here, and then within each preset, the presets are made up of these waves, and I'll show you guys that. So these are the waves that you have access to that you can build your sound off of. So let me go back to initialize sound, and then we're going to go to wave select and select basic 1. We're going to go to wave A of oscillator 1. And so you've got, that's just your standard starter sound. But from there, you've got all of these different waves. Now guys, you guys can see that. Once I start doing the individualized videos for this keyboard, it'll be a lot closer to the screen, but hopefully you guys are able to see scrolling through all of this. But these are the waves that you would use to build your sounds off of. Okay, so there's a lot in here to pick through as well. This is the wave table. Within each sound, you have 2 layers, and this is being talked about a little bit on a video that's coming up, but you've got 2 layers. Within each layer, you have oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and a sub noise generator for each layer, as well as you have access to pre-effects, modulated effects, delays, and a reverb EQ on the master. So there's a lot that you guys can kind of play with if you like to tinker. Just remembering to isolate which layer you're working with at a given time. Whichever one of the layer buttons is red, that's the one that you're using at that moment, layer A or layer B. So, and when you have that layer selected, all of the tools in your programming and tweaking section would apply to that layer. All right, so let's see, we were on Buzz, Troy Bass. So I mean, some of these sounds definitely you can find use for them. But like I said, ideally for me, I am whoever you saying nope about, Jimmy, probably about using the beat keyboards. Oh wow, thank you, Christian, joining from Sweden. That's awesome, man, that you took the time to stop by and check this out. Make sure you subscribe and stay close, stay connected. There'll be content specific as far as this keyboard is concerned. So one of the questions that we have gotten twice now is, could this keyboard be utilized for worship? All right, so in worship settings. So that is definitely something that we'll need to address in a video specifically. So we'll talk about that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to know that. So I appreciate you for stopping through, Christian, and hope to see you again soon. did it again. The sound is called By the Stream. Let's see what it's made up of. Alright, so the first element within it is called Stream Sizzle. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay, so the second thing is that these sounds are not only made up, the waves help make up the elements within the layers, but these layers, the way it's listed, I think they're called performances. But within those, you have these programs that help make up the layers within each of the sounds. So that sound there was called Stream Sizzle. So that's layer A, and then part B is called the waters. Let's see something. So we've got Stream Sizzle and the waters. Those are the two sounds that make up the sound called By the Stream. Okay, so Stream Sizzle sounds like this. The water sounds like this. So one of the things, that's crazy what that's got going on in the background. One of the things that I am going to have to do a little bit more deep diving in is within each sound. So even though By the Stream is made up of, let's see. Okay, so no, it's not made up. It's not a sample. Let's go back. Let's go back. Stream Sizzle, By the Stream, enter. Okay, so if we went to its oscillator mode A, so the sample or the wave that's making up it's called Grandeur. So these are all the waves, all of the waves that are helping to make up the sound, but on the outside of it, it says Stream Sizzle. So if I go to the next page, Stream Sizzle is an actual, so that's the part that I've got to figure out. So Stream Sizzle is a program within Stream Sizzle is a program within the By the Stream performance. So by the stream is made up of two sounds. One of the sounds is called stream sizzle, and the other sound is called the waters. The layer A is stream sizzle, layer B is the waters, and then within layer A you have, that's it. Okay, I got it now. Within layer A you have the oscillator 1 that has this sound here called grandeur in it. So let me turn oscillator 2 off. Layer B is off. Let me turn oscillator 2 off. So this is only oscillator 1 only. This is oscillator 1 only within the A layer of the sound that's called by the stream. That wave is called grandeur. And we can see that by, if we hold enter and select oscillator mode, because we don't want to change anything. You hold any of, oh, that's something that I was talking about the other day. I'm going to bring that up in every live stream because I think it's very important. As far as programming, when you are at any screen, and I'm going to go back to the sound, how it's made up, but any screen that you're on, if you start to turn a knob, the display, the interface is going to take you to the menu that is connected to that button. So right now, if I wanted to start adjusting the cutoff filter for layer A, I would just start turning this knob, cutoff filter. Let's watch this. Alright, but not only is it that accessible, but the screen actually changed to the filter parameters so you can see it all right there on the screen. So you don't have to menu dive. It makes it a lot easier to program because you don't have to menu dive as much, because any knob you turn is going to instantly take you to that menu for that knob that's related to it, and it starts to change it on the screen. So with that said, if you don't want it to change when you start turning it, so I'm gonna go back out to the main screen that we're on. If you don't want it to turn, you just want to go to the menu, you hold enter when you turn the knob, and it'll still go to that menu, but it won't start making the adjustment. If you don't hold enter when you go there, as soon as you start turning, it's going to start making the adjustment. So if you just want to go to the menu to see what's going on there, or to see what the parameters set at, make sure you hold enter when you turn. All right, so back to where we were. Oscillator mode, I'm gonna hold enter and I'm gonna push oscillator mode. This wave that makes up this sound is called grandeur. Yeah, grandeur does sound nice, and that's crazy. That's just a wave, a part of the wavetable. And just that easy, you can change it to a different wave to get a different texture. This wave is called grind square. This is called grandeur. Hold on. Doesn't sound like they changed. Let me make sure we're listening to it. Yeah, there's some little subtle differences. This is called lurk. And of course, I guess each wave is going to respond to the parameters. Each wave in the wavetable is going to respond differently to the parameters. So that's probably why you hear some similarities, but there are some minute differences between them as well too. Let's see, this is called majorly. Maximus. Let's see if we can find something that sounds completely not too thin. Noise Vox. Not a bell. What's up, Bunker? How are you? What's up, Bunker? Thanks for joining the stream. Where are you watching from? Hello. And Jimmy, you see how easy it is to just get lost? I mean, this is one oscillator within layer A that we are hearing this from. Okay, so now check this out. Now, remember the wave that we were initially on was called grandeur. Now we're on something called octave mix. So I'm gonna turn oscillator 1 down and all right. And it's subnoise generator. And let's listen to what oscillator 2 within layer A sounds like. See, there's these little subtle things that are just happening. Let's see. So this one, so like when I showed you guys, oscillator mode is going to show you in your oscillator mode, you've got 3 choices. You can use one, I'm going to say a single oscillator, or you can use a dual oscillator. You have A, B, or you can pull a multi-sample in. So oscillator 1 was on oscillator mode A, which was using one using one wave from the wavetable. And that wave was called grandeur. Let's go back to that. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's G, grandeur. All right, and now oscillator 2 is using 2 waves, one called DV smooth spiral, and one called Floofus. Floofus, Floofus. All right, now to listen to just what the DV smooth sounds like, this is what that sounds like. And then you can blend between the two waves within the oscillator, because it's on AB right now. So you use this button here, it's called AB blend. So now it's all the way to the left, so now we're only listening to the A part of the oscillator. So if we want to listen to the B part of the oscillator, we'll just turn it up all the way to the right. And then you can take any blend of the two. That's crazy. It's crazy. All right. And again, that is only oscillator 2 within layer A. So if we go back now and turn the grandeur voice back on. Remember what it sounded like. That's oscillator 1 by itself. Now adding oscillator 2 in there. And that's only oscillator A. A is out now, and now we turn B on. That was the part that was called the waters. All right. And the waters also, the water is using a sample. So that's another part that we've got to, we'll get into in future videos. But there is it has synthesis. It's based on wavetables as a full-blown synth, but it also has samples that you can pull from. Let's look at that really quickly. This multi-sample on oscillator 1 is called Stream. It's under effects. It's just a water sound. It's just a water sound. Now, they're using that same trick that they used on one of the other sounds with the triangle to simulate a little bell sound. So that's oscillator 1, and let's do oscillator 2 in layer B. We'll see what it sounds like. It is it's in the synth category, and it's called Atmos 2. So I'm going to slowly bring oscillator 1 with the water sound back in, and then we're going to bring layer A in so we can hear the entire sound all over again. Just crazy. And now we bring layer A back in. So, Jimmy, I hope that answers your question as far as this being able to be utilized for worship CCM setting. You can definitely set the mood and set the atmosphere with some of these sounds. And this is in a very small package, lightweight, doesn't weigh much. It has standard MIDI on the back, I believe. I'm almost positive it does. Yes, it does. was just making sure. These days, I guess it has to, but just wanted to make sure. So yeah, it can do a lot. And like I said, I am just scratching the surface. I have only had it about 2 weeks, and I'm really learning it, getting familiar with it, getting it under my fingers, getting my brain wrapped around how everything's routed and how it works. I haven't even really started to jump into the effects yet. And even a lot of the modulation stuff, I have not. I've done just very, very little, very little. I'm still learning that, but that's why I wanted to see if there was areas that I needed to focus on, as far as presenting this to other people, so that you guys can get a good picture of what it is capable of, what it does, what it does not do, and how it could fit into your rig, and how you guys could utilize it. So I just wanted to jump in here for a little bit today. We just hit the 1 hour mark, so I wanted to just get in real quick for you guys, and I will be back. Today is Saturday, so trying to also find the time of day that works best for a lot of the people that subscribe and are members and follow the channel. So maybe not tomorrow, who knows, maybe later on tomorrow night, but we'll see, because I got a lot more to go, and I'm sure there's going to be some other questions. So I appreciate you, Jimmy, for coming and checking out all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. Bunker, if you're still here, thanks for showing up. Thanks for checking in. Christian, thanks all the way from Sweden. That's just amazing that the channel is reaching people thousands and thousands of miles away. I really appreciate you guys for your support and checking out the content. So we'll be in touch, and we'll see you guys in a day or so. And if you have any questions, just please leave them in the comments. There's also a community page for the channel, so if you have any direct questions you want to ask me, or just there's other keyboards that we have that we do live streams on, quite a few. So you can just check out the channel and see if there's anything there that will benefit you, and hopefully you find something. Take care. Appreciate you guys a lot. Thanks.